Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to extend this map out, show you some additional things, as well as show you some other things I said I was going to show you, but I forgot to. So I'm just going to jump right into this. So the first thing I'm going to do is change the textures because I don't like working with Egypt sock. Personally, I like to use Andromeda. That's probably my favorite texture pack. So I'm just going to change the floors, walls, and ceilings. So I'm just going to load up Andromeda floors, find replace. I'm going to find this floor texture, I'm going to replace it with this floor texture, apply, it's done. I'm going to find this wall texture just by pressing mouse 3 to select it. I'm going to click on replace and I'm going to replace it with this texture. And I'm going to find the light texture, mouse 3, click on replace, open up the lights, and I'm going to use this white one. Press close, and as you can see, now it's working as it should, nice and flush. And now to show you in preferences, I'm going to press P for the shortcut. Render mode is texture wired. To show you what that looks like, I'm going to, by default, it's selected to textured. So I'm just going to press OK. As you can see here, you no longer see the wireframes. Now on a small map like this, it's not very noticeable. But if we load up a more detailed map, you can see the big difference. So this is SDC UK round 6, I believe, or 26, whatever you want to call it. So these are all individual brushes, you can't really see it. This is also individual brushes, you can't really see it. But if we enable textured wired, you can see everything now. Generally you wouldn't see these, but without the wireframe, but you can see where brushes are split up. This is why I recommend using that setting. So we're just going to jump right back into the tutorial map, and I'm going to show you the surface inspector. So you're just going to select a brush or face. Also, I got the shortcut wrong. I was saying Control Shift Mouse 3. It's actually just Control Mouse. No, I was saying, I'm sorry, Control Shift left click is incorrect. It's actually Control left click, and you can select multiple faces at once. So Control left click, press S to pull up the surface inspector. Okay, so we can manually shift these textures and stretch it. The main thing I use is right here, texturing. So you can do reset. Let's say, for example, this is at, we'll do 1 by 1 for example, fit. So what that does, I'm going to filter out because it's in my way. So that filter, so that fits the texture 1 by 1 in that size brush. So you can adjust this 2 by 2. 3 by 3, 4 by 2, 4 by 1. You can even do 4.5. Fit. That works. You can do reset. And let's say for whatever reason, your texture is maybe slightly off. Like the alignment is not 100% correct. Resetting won't fix it. You want to do axial projection. There's a slight difference there. You don't really see it move, but it's reset axial. this is good for like axial is good for like maybe you're doing like rock brushes, for example. So I'm just gonna show you how to make a rock brush. I'm gonna create a brush right here. You're gonna go to brush, rock, and just enter any amount of sides. I'm gonna do, let's keep it default 32, press OK, and you have a 32 sided rock right here. So now, as you can see, obviously we're not going to use this texture, but as an example, these faces are not lined up. So I'm selecting this texture here by pressing mouse 3. I'm holding Control mouse 3, and I'm applying the texture. I'm painting the texture on. But as you can see, once I press mouse 3 here and then Control mouse 3 here, it's constantly changing. To fix that, I'm going to select it, press S, axial, and now it's all aligned. Again, press S, reset, and it was back how it was when I first originally created the brush. I want it all aligned, so I'm going to hit axial, and it's done. Now for rocks, you want to use actually Colk, and then you want to paint a texture, Control mouse 3, and then whatever faces that aren't seen in the game is going to stay Colk, because you're going to want to make this brush a detail. So we have that rock. These faces will never be seen in game. Let's say they're in the floor or something. And then to make a brush detail, you're just going to press Alt D, brush set detail right there in the console. And to filter out details, you're going to do Control D. That filters details, Control D to reset the details. And you can also hit it up there as well. So I'm going to hit Control D. As you can see, it's filtered out. Press it up here, and it's back. I'll get into detail brushes later on. It's a bit more complicated. I actually wrote a tutorial. I don't have internet connection right now, but I wrote a tutorial on the world spawn for it. I know it's still used to this day. I wrote it maybe like 10 years ago. I would recommend you guys read that. And also, if you guys are getting into mapping and don't like reading, maybe mapping is not best for you, because you're gonna have to do a lot of reading, like a lot of reading. Okay, so I'm just going to extend this room out, show you a couple new things. And we'll take it from there. So in the last video, I attempted to make some details. So I'm gonna move this back because I don't feel like doing that. So I'm going to take the floor, push it back, switch views, Control Tab. Take this, and I'm going to create a floor. How big of a floor you want is totally up to you. I'm just eyeing it right now. So we got a floor there. I'm going to just like that. So I'm going to press So there's two ways I can create an angled brush. I can press E for the edge tool and bring this down like that. Or I can use the clipper tool by pressing X and cut it. So it's going to cut it the wrong way. If I press enter now, everything from below is going to be cut. I want it the opposite, so I'm going to press Control Enter. Now everything above this split right here will be cut off if I press enter, and that's exactly what I want. Okay, maybe we want to be an asshole and do something like this. That's fine. I don't know why this Radiant doesn't load up everything. Am I missing shit? What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know why I'm missing these freaking... Anyway. Let's try and do some things here. So I'm going to create a trim. So this is the only time I've applied this texture. So really quickly, I'm going to select it by pressing mouse 3, Shift A, press S for the surface inspector, axial, close, and I am going to so another shortcut. Just select the faces. I'm going to press F. Nope, that's not correct. What was it? Just bear with me for a second. I did it before, I don't remember how I did it. F, there we go. Anyway, I don't feel like doing all that right now, so I'm just gonna find a trim. If there is a trim, I'm gonna rotate this. Rotate this. Wrong one. Rotate it. There we go. So I'm just trying to find a trim, just like that. So now that I have the trim the way I want it, Control, mouse 3, Control, mouse 3. I'm going to create a wall. Again, select a texture, Control, mouse 3. I'm going to select a texture, mouse 3. Over here in the 3D view, Control, mouse 3, Control, mouse 3. Control, mouse 3, Control, mouse 3. This is the floor, they're never going to see that, so we can leave that as Colk. And take this, Control Mouse 3. So I'm going to press G to use the transform tool. I'm going to rotate this just like that. And then, damn it. That's not right. That's the one we want. Maybe we'll make a little pit here. So I can have two separate brushes like this, or I can select both, Control U to merge. Those two brushes is now one brush. We're going to select the wall texture, Control Mouse 3, Control Mouse 3, Control Mouse 3. And we're going to make, I'm just doing this really quickly, I don't really care about the textures at this point. So again, I'm using all the shortcuts I told you guys about. So initially I selected this wall first, deselected it, created a brush, creates it at the same length as this one. I don't want that one. I want it the same length as this one. Select it, deselect it, create a brush. That's what I want. So basically, like I said this in the last video, it just saves a step. If I did it this way, then I just have to move it and adjust it. Make that our floor. And then we're going to add a wall here. And we'll make this our ending pad as well. And this is so you know it's the end. And we're going to make this our ceiling. What I'm doing now is we have such a nice skybox, I kind of want to use it. So I'm going to arbitrarily throw these in. I don't feel like, alright, this is a tutorial, I'm gonna do it proper for you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna select these, delete that, take this, make this our backdrop, and apply all faces with a texture that we see in game. Again, I'm just holding Control Mouse 3 to do this. And I'm going to select these. I'm going to make, let's It's not here anymore. Okay, Alt D. Those are now detail. Forgot these. Alt D, detail. I'm going to push this in. Am I? Nah. So now I'm just gonna clip this. I'll do player clip. That's clip. So player clip is players can shoot through it, but they cannot run through it or walk through it. It's gonna stop the player only. Okay. Just gotta fix the triggers so it doesn't take away your weapons. What do you set this as? Keep power-ups, remove everything. Just gonna delete that. I'm gonna show you some world spawn keys I forgot to show you in the last video. So just select any non-entity brush that's a world spawn brush. Non-entity brush you'll see outlined in black, like all of these, except the trigger's an entity. So any non-entity brush. So this floor, that's fine. Press N. Again, these are your keys that you can add. I'm not gonna go over everything. You just gotta read it. So message, you can do message tutorial by Ghost. So when you load the map, it's gonna say the map name and then the message, which is tutorial by Ghost. Grid size. So default is 64, 128. It depends on the size of your map. So maybe in this case I'll do 128, 128, 256, block size. Do 2048, 2048, 2048. Like map scale 125. Again, you can just add it here. This is new to Netradiant custom. May have been a Netradiant, I'm not 100% sure. But I used to use GTK 1.4, 1.6, so I'm used to having to manually type everything in. But you can absolutely do it right here as well. Cast shadows, receive shadows. Again, you just gotta read the info. It gives you all the information you need right here. If you're not sure how to do something, or if you're willing to learn, you just gotta read. Okay, there's also a new world spawn entity info. That's floodlight. So it's going to be, the key is RGB. So I'm just going to search floodlight real quick. RGB, distance, intensity, directional power. Distance is floodlight basically mimics dirty in your map, so you don't really have to compile with dirty, just compile with floodlight. A good value that I use is 768, so I'm going to use 768. Your intensity is basically your ambient key. So whatever you would use for ambient. For starters, I use 25 and then 1. And then 1 is What is 1? Directional power. So we got that in. And then RGB, you can change this to any color you want. So easiest way to pick out a color for shaders or for your map, you're just gonna create a light entity. We have one here. Press K. You want to pick, maybe you want like a greenish hue to the map, like a slime green color, like something like that. Press OK, press N. This is your color value. I'm just gonna copy this. We don't need this light, so we're gonna delete it. Again, select a world spawn brush, press N, go back to floodlight, and paste that, press enter. So now when you compile your map, quick and very crude. It should give off a greenish tint. Maybe it's the shader looks so weird. I believe these lights are overpowering it. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, as you can see here, there's a bit of a greenish tint to it. Yep, you can see it's much better now. So that's floodlight. And as you can see the corners here, this is our 768. Whatever that key was. So I can bump that up to say 1024. Recompile. While that's recompiling, we're going to go back here. We're going to drag this up like that. We're going to go to water. So that's effects. This is a stock Quake 3 water shader. No, these are stock Quake 3 shaders. I'm just going to apply a water shader. So I don't feel like looking for it, so I'm going to type in water. Where the fuck is it? That would be under liquids. Liquids. So these are stock Q3 liquid shaders. So I'm going to use clear calm 1. And then we're going to set up a teleporter. So I'm going to create a new brush, move it over, right click, trigger, teleport. And then we're going to place our teleporter back up here. So right click on the grid, miscellaneous, where is it? Miscellaneous teleporter destination. As you can see, he's looking to the right. So I'm going to push him back a little bit, press N, angles 90 so he looks forward. If you're mapping it for CPM and you want to do a telejump, put him directly on the floor. If you want to do like a left-handed telejump or right-handed telejump, just change the angles. So left-handed would be 0, right-handed would be 180. Simple telejump 90. It's VQ3. You might want to just drop it down there so you get at least some airtime. And now we're just gonna select that one. That's already set to trigger teleport. Select that guy, Control K, just like that. So we've got, what do we do here? Plasma. should be enough to clear this, and we're going to move our stop timer. You can recompile. Reload the map. There's no lights there, so you can't see shit. So I am gonna throw some lights in here. Light. Just do that for now. So it's a pretty big room. Recompile. There you go, there's our water shader, teleporter, and stop timer. So we're just gonna run this real quick. Oh yeah, I didn't fix my thing. So I think I figured out the problem for this. Target name. And delete that. Target name, delete that. So player, target give, control K, target give, item, control K. Recompile again. Why is it not fucking working? Alright, I'm over that. Where the fuck is it? Okay, maybe that's a bug with this version of Radiant. It's disappointing. Okay, we're not gonna add that. Item. Combat. Which one do I want? This one. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be using a work in progress version, you know, for a tutorial. We got that. We got our speed. No stop timer this time around. I just no clip there, but yeah, we hit our stop timer. It worked. Teleporter works. There you go. That's basics of mapping. In the next tutorial, I'll show you guys everything in the toolbar, what everything does, how to disable, enable things. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.